Olemme Brysselissä. Vieressäni on haastateltavani Mental Health Europein johtaja Mary van Dievel. Mrs. van Dievel, I have few questions for you, which I hope you can answer. The first one is like this. What do you think, which are the biggest problems in Europe concerning mental health?
You mean concerning mental health in general, or the problems of the users of mental health services?
I mean the problems of users of mental health services.
I think a very big problem is the social inclusion of people with mental health problems. It's perhaps not so much a problem in Finland, because I know you are very well organized, but in many countries, for example in the south of Europe, organizations like yours are nearly inexistent. There are a few groups, but they are not really well organized. And also, of course, in the newer member states, you can say they are very new for the moment. But in the former Eastern European countries, it's a big problem for the mental health service users to get to get organized, let's say. Yeah. And because, of course, when you are organized, you are stronger, and you can fight for your rights. Also for your human rights, for your rights for inclusion simply.
Thank you. The second question is like this: to which direction are the mental health issues going in Europe?
To which
direction are the mental health issues going in Europe?
For the moment, there is much attention for promotion of mental health, for mental health promotion and well-being, and there is now the European Pact for Mental Health and Well-being that has been launched by the Directorate General for Consumer Protection in Luxembourg, and they are trying to make member states implement this promotion pact in the different European member states. So that's a big issue for the moment, and I think it's the right direction to go to prevent mental health problems. That's the very first step to promote mental health in the general public. We think that's very important.
Thank you. The third question: are the human rights of users realized in Belgium and in Europe, and in Europe?
Well, in principle, yes, they are respected. So if I can talk for Belgium, because I'm Belgian, in principle, yes, but of course there are always abuses because of misinterpretation of legislation, for example. But then I would redirect you to our human rights officer, Ms. Roselyne Boucon, who can tell you more about the situation in Europe.
So for the in Europe, you have different kind of protections for human rights for people with mental health problems. You have the Convention on Human Rights, which is implemented in the different EU countries, and which is protected by the fact that there is a court which is judging the countries if they are not respecting their commitment to protect human rights for everybody, including for people with mental health problems. And now, in 2008, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities has been ratified, has entered into force, and now we are waiting for ratification in every EU country. And the EU has made a step forward to implement and to ratify this convention. But now the EU institutions decided that they have to wait that member states ratified this convention. So it's a two-speed system now. We have to wait for member states to ratify the convention, so the EU will be able to ratify it as well. So that's a kind of an overview of what's happening about human rights in Europe for the moment.
Voinko me tässä väliin, me vaan englanniksi itse sanoa, niin we have in Europe million people in closet in mental hospital. What is this?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What is this?
Why?
Why?
Why are people still in psychiatric hospitals? Yeah, you know that in many countries there is now a process of what they call deinstitutionalization, and we are working together with the European Commission to try to change not only in Italy. There was the same is also happening in other countries, in Greece, for example, or in Romania. They are trying to get people who do not need to be there out from psychiatric hospitals. And we think that's a very important step, but more important still is that there are alternatives for these people. Like you have in Finland, you have these the Fountain House model, you have other initiatives that are set up, but in many countries nothing else is existing, so there is a big problem. When this deinstitutionalization is going to happen, people will be on the streets if they cannot go to their family because there's nothing for them. But we are working together with the European Commission and other European organizations on this.
And the question of the use of European money, so the European structural funds, has been used for years to rebuild institutions instead of creating new alternative cares. So it's now there is a raising awareness activity towards the Commission and EU institutions to explain to them that they cannot spend the money on that. There are other ways to use this money.
Yes. There was an ad hoc expert group at Commissioner Spidla, the former Commissioner for Social Affairs. And they made a report on deinstitutionalization, and we will send you the link. It is on the European Commission website. So that's I think it's important for you to know about it. Yes.
Thank you. I have still one question here. Mary van Dievel, what do you think? What is mental health, mental well-being?
What do I think? It's very difficult to. It's different for everyone. I think what is good for you is not necessarily good for me. For my mental health, because I have a different character. I come from a different background, so, and that's why it's quite difficult to give a general definition of mental health and well-being. Also, the cultures in the European continent are so different one from the other, and what is normal for you is not necessarily normal for Roseline, who is French, or for Astrid, who is German. So I find it quite difficult to give you a straightforward answer on that question.
But how you notice that it's here in European, what happened in Finland, for example, very, very much in few years now, that people much more open in speaking these problems, for example, themselves, and talking about depression that I have now, and so that very many famous people coming to magazine and tell, and that's why in Finland, for example, much more people be open to speak this problematic. It's the same happened in here in
Unfortunately, it's not happening everywhere because there are many countries where, for example, when we speak about mental health, they cannot even translate it in their language. It's in Croatia, for example, or in Hungary, they don't have this word mental health in their language, and well they do have it, but it's always linked with psychiatry. There is always a negative connotation to mental health, and there where we see mental health as something positive. For them, it's not the case. So
Yes, this stigma.
yes, that's stigma, and that's why they don't want to come out. They don't want to speak about their problems in some countries.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Dievel, and take Rosalind and Astrid with you and come to visit Finland.
Yes, sure.
But it is coffee